I know that you enjoyed my video last week with all the questions. As I was making the video, a few more questions came in and they were actually pretty good ones. So I thought I would do another quick video and just finish off all the questions, the more personal ones. So first question, which actually made me laugh, was do you live in Positano? Not sure how to take that. Could have been a joke question. I could joke back and say, no, I've just been pretending to live here for the last 19 years. But if we're going to be serious about it, yes, I do live in Positano. We actually live in between Positano and Montepetruso. Montepetruso is a suburb of Positano, which is up higher on the mountain, and we live right in between. I'll show you. Let's go see how close to Positano we actually are. Holly! Let's go for walkies. Come on. I've shown this a million times. That question probably came from somebody who just started following me. Anyway, this is just in front of my house. This is the pathway that heads down into town. Have you found a friend? I can see right over to town. So that's how close to Positano I am. Do I live in Positano? No, I'm not in the pyramid in the centre, but I'm definitely not in Amalfi, and I'm definitely not in England. Next question. Got a good question to answer while I'm walking up the steps. Where is my dog? Oh, there you are. Okay. Next question is, do you ever fall down the steps? I have been really lucky so far. I have not had a bad tumble down the steps. Actually, I don't know many people who do, to be honest with you. I have tripped a couple of times and stumbled. There's been a couple of times where I thought I might have twisted my ankle, but I've actually been okay. I actually fell here once, and Holly was with me, and things were so close to home. I tried to send her back to get Carla to help me. She didn't understand. She wasn't going to leave me. So I've been really lucky. Haven't fallen down the steps yet. Fingers crossed. Shouldn't have asked that question. Right, I'm going to turn the camera off now before I actually do fall down the steps. Another question is, what do I prefer, English winters or Italian winters? Honestly, I prefer English winters. I know they're colder, but the difference is Positano is a very, very humid place. So in the winter you get a very humid cold, which is different from the English drier cold. Here in the winter, everything feels damp. Mold grows everywhere, and it's really tough if you're used to that level of English central heating and being warm in the house and being able to take your shoes, your socks off and go around bare feet. You can't do that here. It doesn't work. It feels colder here. I've noticed that 12 degrees centigrade in England is actually quite comfortable, whereas 12 degrees centigrade here, you want your big thick coat on, you want it done right up, and scarves and hats, and it feels way colder. Another thing, let me show you. I noticed this the other day. Right, this is my clothes cupboard. This is the sunniest, warmest room of the house. Now, my winter boots from last year, which are waterproof boots, look at this. They are growing mold on them. They have been in the cupboard over the summer. I mean, look at that, that's awful. I don't know whether I'm going to get that off. I mean, last year we used vinegar, and then my boots reeked of vinegar. But they've been in the cupboard just throughout the summer. So when it's been warm, and this is what happens. And that happens to any leather items, so bags, coats, boots. I can't tell you the amount of stuff I've had to throw away over the years, and since then learned not to buy, but it's really frustrating. So that's one of the downsides to the winter in Positano. Okay, so I've got quite a few questions about the garden, so let's go outside and deal with them. So one question I was asked about the garden was, why do we not see videos? Why do we not see vegetables like carrots and radishes growing in your garden? Is it not in the Italian diet? Well, yes, carrots and radishes are used here, but they don't grow in this soil. That's the simple reason why. We've tried to grow carrots a few times, and they come out really small and round, or really wonky. They just don't grow properly, and the same for radishes and parsnips, which is also very difficult to grow. And in fact, you won't see parsnips very often at all in the Italian diet. They just don't grow here at all. This is our giant lemon tree. this is one of the lemons that is growing on it. It's not ripe yet. It will probably get a little bit bigger and it will go bright yellow eventually. Anyway, one of the questions I got about the lemon trees is what happens to them in the winter. Do they survive? Yes, this is the Amalfi Coast. Amalfi Coast is known for growing lemons, so it is the ideal climate for growing any citrus fruits. In the winter, we simply cover the trees with netting to protect them from any possible frost that may happen and any high winds. And they just grow, they just deal with it themselves. We don't have to really think about the lemon trees. Right, let's go back up to the top garden for the next question. To what extent are we self-sufficient? I wouldn't say we're actually self-sufficient, we're semi-self-sufficient. We grow all our own fruits and vegetables, so we have potatoes, onions, garlic, and then all the seasonal vegetables as well. So obviously in the winter we have all the green leafy veg, broccolis and cabbages and cauliflowers and greens. We've got fennel, oranges, lemons, mandarins, pomegranates in the winter. And then in the summer we have, fruit-wise, we have apricots, pears and plums, apples, and then all the summer vegetables like eggplant, red peppers, potatoes in the summer, onions in the summer, tomatoes of course, zucchini. Neighbour actually makes, they've got all the olive groves here in front of us, so they make olive oil and they'll often give us a few bottles. And Carla knows a few people who make goat's cheese, so we'll often get some big chunks of goat's cheese as well. Obviously we don't have a cocoa tree, so I can't make chocolate, which is a real bummer. If we could do that, I would almost say that we were self-sufficient. One other question that I got is what camera do I use to make my videos with and what editing software do I use? It's all very basic. Camera wise, it's the Canon G7x Mark II, which is the classic vlogger's camera, and it's perfect for the job. And I just use iMovie to put my videos together. So that is it for all the personal questions. I've really enjoyed doing these last two videos. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Don't forget you can follow me every day on Instagram. I do stories around and about Positano and the Amalfi Coast, and you can see what I've been up to every day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, which will be the questions on Positano itself.